on air yet. We on air. First time on air. Welcome to the first tryout because of whatever this is.
This
Me,
is a trial.
yeah, this is just a tryout. This is a trial. Me and my brother right there, Sham Sadine,
No, I'm actually over here.
Free Sabat, is going to try to do this more often and get more discussions going about deep rooted conversations and everything. If you want to tell them your page, because I think this is going to post on my page when we're done broadcasting. I think it's going to post up after it's done being live as an official video on my page. So, Sham, if you want to tell them your page.
My page is L_Bay_Shabazz, L as in EL _BEY as in Bay _Shabazz SHABAZZ.
Exactly, man. But why don't you tell them about? No, don't tell them about your idea because somebody's gonna bite it. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody was biting off my Instagram. No beef with the brother, but now you just gotta be careful with your content because people are watching the internet and running with your stuff. So from now on, I'm gonna be more careful about that. I'm about to go see if I could view this on my phone live. You could probably see if you could do that. Are you on your phone?
Yeah, I'm on the phone. I'm on a phone. My other phone is inside.
You got two phones, big baller?
Nah, this is the work phone. It's the trucking phone, lock and load trucking, black business spot.
Well, look at this. And running with your stuff, so this is dope. This shit is live.
I'm on there too?
Yeah, I'm about to go see.
Where am I at? I don't see me.
If I can view this on my phone live. You could probably see if you can do that. Are you on your phone? Yeah, I'm on the phone. I'm on a phone. My other phone is inside. You got two phones, big baller?
I look like I'm running hostage from somebody.
It's trucking phone, lock and load trucking. Now it's on the phone. That's on the phone. That's on the phone.
The phone. It's like Inception. Inception. Ooh, Inception. Inception.
So since we live, out here, let's talk about some stuff. I want to talk about earlier today. I'm gonna talk about this with Sham. We already talked about it. I had a debate about me not wanting to be around big groups of white people. Me deciding that I don't want to associate myself with big groups of white people. That I can deal with individuals and whatnot. Say, hey, I'm always polite to anybody of any ethnic or racial group, but I prefer not to be around Europeans, especially in America, because of the history and for historical and political reasons, basically, up to this current day. How do you feel about that, Sham? Because I was talking about, you would think that was just Hitler, the way what I'm saying they was talking to me earlier. So
I think for most part of us as black people, and us people in general, we feel apologetic as if we had something to do with our own relationship and how we deal with white people. And the main thing is because we haven't really fully dealt with the racism that is prevalent today and of yesterday. Because you hear times like, now that we are seeing some of what our grandfathers and great-grandfathers and our ancestors experienced only because we didn't deal with the issues that we deal with today. And because a lot of it is because, like I said, our relationship and how we deal with white folks and how we deal with racism, how we understand ourselves in relations of racism. And it's bigger than, to me, like there was a time whatever, like, I focused like in white man this, white man that. I still feel like that because I feel like that to a degree, but most of it is because out of the love for black people. I feel like as black people, we need to get ourselves together, and we do need to understand that white folks as a whole is a threat. You might have Billy, Tommy, Jenny, Becca, whoever as a friend, but they're a part of a bigger machine. Like just like we are the beneficiaries of Martin Luther King and of our other ancestors, of Marcus Garvey, of our warrior ancestors. They are the beneficiaries of their ancestors as well. and what their ancestors bred and gave them. So not only are we relation in blood, we are relation in instinct and how we live, our moral values, our moral code, how we live life, and those things are passed down, and they come indiscriminately in our everyday society and how we live and how we interact. So we have to start paying attention to that as well. So, like I said, you might have a friend, white dude friend, might be cool with or whatever. That doesn't matter. The whole intelligentsia, like I don't blame a black person because our relationship, we deal with them, how we have further dealt with them, and how more black than not, it feels like you tell us to forget our history, but let's always remember your heart. You went through.
Bro, you're breaking
I
up.
don't want to deal with.
You're breaking up. I don't know if you got
I'm breaking up.
Yeah, you sound like a robot. Like
what?
You sound like a robot.
Right now?
You good now? Go ahead.
All right. Yeah. I guess basically, like I said, how we have dealt with racism and their racism as a people, and more times than not, like we have discussed it. I don't even get in arguments with white people because I don't hang around with groups of white folks. Mostly because of my social surrounding, who I'm comfortable with, and also it's like I said, I understand the points and emphasis of being. And most of the time, black people who have an argument towards that don't hang around white people. They don't have a white group of friends they can per se hang around with. They know one or two white folks they might work with. They don't deal with them on an everyday basis to understand, those things that their ancestors or a person who lived in a white predominant society, or community such as yourself, my brother. So, they don't understand where you might be coming from. But now they're starting to see with the sex and things that's coming out, with the social medias, what's going on, they're starting to see, like, damn, they really out here. I see myself where I lived at. Like, I was driving down Route 22, whoever lives in Jersey, the Jersey area, down North Plainfield, whatever. I live in Plainfield. It was a big-ass truck. He had a Confederate flag. Now, both flags is both evil. Both flags is a war. We both know that. But, now the big thing now is the Confederate flag. But they showing you, like, we ain't forget big-ass on a truck. Like, we was driving, so all I could do was really give him the middle finger and tell him, go die somewhere. But, I really couldn't do nothing because I was on my way to somewhere, too. But I had to let them know, like, yo, like, fuck you. But both of these flags, we are dealing in a tic-tac-toe war a lot of times with ourselves. We want to deal with this, we don't want to deal with this. We want to touch this, we want to touch that. Like, you want to deal with racism as far as the Confederate flag, but you don't want to deal with racism as far as yourself and white folks in general. Because both of them flags is both for war. Both of them flags were never meant for us. We deal with racism how it's dealing with us.
No doubt. And the thing about the Confederate flag thing, what sickens me is, one, you already know me. And first of all, let me clear up something. You know what I'm saying? Sham already know the history behind this. I'm not going to say how it was made.
I was there.
Before y'all people ask me why do I have an American flag, I just want to clear it up. I've been asked a lot of times. It's painted black and white. One, I'm bruised. Two, when an American flag is painted black, it symbolizes the blacks in America. Just to let you know, it doesn't mean that I'm a patriot of any sort. If you know me, you know this already. It just means that I represent black America, black people within America, and those are the people who I speak for. And so so if you notice the symbology, it's above my bed. You understand? You understand? It's above my bed. It's above where I sleep, where I eat at sometimes, where I watch things at. It's always a reminder. My uncle's also up there. It's a reminder of what I'm fighting for and where I'm fighting in, just to clear that up. But to speak on the American flag, American flag and the Confederate flag are both wrong to me. The reason why I get more intense when I see the Confederate flag is because I know the culture from which it's coming from. And what I mean by that, normally, remember, I grew up first in a black neighborhood called Longside and moved to a white neighborhood called Pine Hill, or a majority white neighborhood called Pine Hill. And when people had Confederate flags, it was normally people who grandfather or father or them themselves was from the South and had a strong disdain for my people, or who believed that the Confederates were fighting in that war for the right reasons, which was to not only to keep their money, not only to keep themselves as their own sector apart from America, but also to keep slaves. So when a lot of these people who were fighting for Confederate flag doesn't have nothing to do with slavery, who are you playing with? You know what I'm saying? They're right when they say, yeah, it has to do with a lot of other things too, but it also has to do with keeping my ancestors physically shackled. And so America done that as a whole, so that's why I have a problem with the American flag. And people should know that I don't care about the American flag, but I have a stronger disdain against or a dislike against the Confederate flag because I know what culture and mindset that's coming from. It's outright disrespect, in my opinion, that you think that you could put a flag like that in front of me. You know what I'm saying? I know what culture it's coming from. I know what mind state it comes from. You understand? You understand? So that's why I have a stronger dislike, honestly, for the Confederate flag because I know people's minds where that come from. Sham was there with me when we were all trying to get somebody to take the Confederate flag down. You know, we knew what type of time he was on. We knew what that white boy was really on. You know, he said before he tried to close the door in our face, Southern pride. Come on, you know what I'm saying? We know what it is by the end of the day. So, you know, as far as the American flag, y'all know I don't like that flag. You know, I don't like that flag at all. And I want to get this across to people though. Just because they're taking down a Confederate flag, do not let it don't let it pacify you. Just like when Obama was elected as president. You know what I'm saying? Don't start that whole, you know, they took down the flag, so racism's over. Good now, better, you know, racism's over because the Confederate flag is down. No, racism is not over. Racism is not going to be over anytime soon because we have a terrible mentality on what racism is and how to solve it. We think the way to solve racism is to act like these ethnic groups don't exist as their own people, which we know that is wrong. When somebody says the only thing that separates one human from another human is skin pigment, we know that is false. There's a lot of other physical
things. My God. Oh my! Can I say something real quick about that? Real quick, you say that?
Go ahead.
When people say that, it just goes to show you, you know, the not the ignorance in ourselves and the arrogance in which we say it, because people say that, you know, almost off of like, you know, second
brother. You're breaking up again. Can you go? Are you not getting Wi-Fi where you at? Like.
Oh yeah. Am I good now?
You're good. Go ahead.
Alright. I think it's about my speaker or something like that. But like when people say that, like it bothers me so much because it just goes to show the ignorance into the depths in which we will go to make another group of people feel comfortable, because as if our differences are a negative. And it's like, you know, we live in a society where diversity is the main thing. But to be diverse is to understand that you have a culture and somebody else has a culture, and to embrace both cultures is not to embrace my culture and suppress somebody else's culture. And that's what we do often the time. So when I say, oh, I have my melanin connects to my pineal gland, you know, gives me energy from the sun, you know, it's calcium, it's all these things, vitamin D, you know, if I eat certain things, you know, people hear that and they're like, oh, you're just trying to make sure. No, that's fact. That is in science. You know, white folks' pineal gland is sulfuric. It carries sulfuric acid. We have alkaline mind. You see the batteries, most batteries run on alkaline. That's in us. And you tell it to somebody like these elements are not, like these elements are of the earth. Or you are of the earth. You are of these elements. The people fall into different elements, or different peoples, or whatever you want to call them, are falling into different elements. And that's just respect who we are and respect to the differences which make us. And when people do that, you're only diminishing yourself, because we're not all the same. We're not all the same. Bone density, health-wise, you know, a number of bones in our bodies. Not only does it pick in our skin, but our thinking. Like we just said, these things go back to culture. You should respect your culture within itself. Anybody who puts down their own culture, even white folks, y'all did devilish shit. Y'all know that's where you come from. When you put out your own culture, you put out yourself.
Yep.
You know, that goes both spectrums, both
And
spectrums, good and the
and
bad.
and what I try to tell people is when you decide to say race, well, one, I can understand why you say race don't exist because you might be talking about the cultural race, which was made up to say that we're racing each other and it's
Yeah.
competitive in this competitive culture. You're right, that is subjective. When I talk about race, I normally am talking about the phenotype of another. And what I mean is the phenotype, the genotype, which affects the phenotype of, say my appearance, which means my phenotype can tell me where I probably came from. For example, my phenotype says he is probably an African. His phenotype was probably originated in Africa. Another person's phenotype probably originates in Europe. Same thing with an Asian. This is what tells us who's different. And because these environments, we have different behaviors, different social norms, different temperaments, different, I like to say, effects with the environment, or different ways the environment may affect us. And these things create different types of people. the thing
Mm,
the thing wrong, in my opinion, with people is that they want to act like none of these things exist. Don't be
mm,
my friend because you can't acknowledge my culture and my appearance. Don't say it's not there. My nose is wide. My lips are fat. My skin is brown. My hair is kinky. Those things are real. They exist. You understand what I'm saying? And if you want to be my friend and you're a European, the way to be my friend is not to say I don't see any of that. That's not the way to get there. Accept what I am, see what I am, and then move from there. Then we can build. I'm not going to build with nobody who ignores a big part of who I am. My ethnic group, my culture, my race is a big part of what and who I am. I don't run from that. Neither do I think anybody else should run from that. It's okay
mm.
to be comfortable in your skin. It's okay to say I'm proud. It's okay for somebody to say I'm proud to be white. I don't have no problem with that. I don't see why if you have a problem with a man saying I'm proud to be Japanese, I'm proud to be Chinese, I'm proud to be German, I'm proud to be Irish, or somebody saying I'm proud to be Nigerian, or I'm proud to be West African, then you have insecurities in your own self, in your own culture, in your own genes. There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody should be proud of what they are and what they come from. That's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? And the only reason why I had a problem with white power is because they said it in retaliation to black power. That's why a lot of people say, oh, you had a problem with white power. I had a problem with it because white power, one, is already established. It does not need to be called upon. It is established. We started saying black power to call it out of the souls of black people. So that's the difference. That's not the same thing. And people try to make that the same all the time. It's not coming from the same place. Most of the white power movements came from an insecurity of a white man seeing us with our own power movements, which wasn't insecurity. It was coming from a place that we recognize that our people need power and self-confidence. You know what I'm saying? It was to correct a political mind state and to correct a psychological mind state of our people. It's a difference. People try to make it the same thing. It is a well-known difference at that. I just wanted to comment on that real quick, brother.
And to piggyback off of what you were saying, um, when like in order for the oppressor to gain his power, like I was saying before, one of the top rated movies for almost 100 years was Birth of a Nation. When that movie came out, President Eisenhower at the time, said this movie was like, a revelation to America because they believed that all black people want to do was rape white women and eat fried chicken and act a fool and run America. So what that did was instill not only the fear that all white people feared that, one day the recognition, the retribution of black people are going to come back, but they're going to come back and they're going to just destroy our overall way of thinking. Now of course they romanticize and dramatize it as they always do in their movies and their TV shows because that is how they get their messages across. And we have to understand the ways and means of media isn't because something is popular, it is always true and it is always true. And that's what we have to distinguish between within ourselves, understanding further and how we would develop. Because what's popular now is that, forget your race, forget yourself, but remember yourself as a remember yourself as right, your sexuality before your own race. Or I mean, not even just your race, your own culture. Gay rights has moved on because those groups of sex of people said that we're not going to allow nobody to oppress us, but we're going to take power back in the ways to get power, which is media, which is schools. You see it in the TV shows, the organizations, factions, movements, and processes, and now they're trying to get the rights of saying, that they're the equivalent to what we went through as black people. Like brothers, like Dr. Umar saying, no, y'all trying to argue to live a way of life. We're trying to argue to live a whole means of lifestyle. And we're so disenfranchised that most people who hear that, get messed up. And I say that, and I'm saying, because I'm going, like, it might sound I'm going off tangent, but it goes back into the race, because we have no respect for ourselves, and because we see ourselves in everything, we just think we're in some giant pool, of the world, that we forgot that, we're not living in ourselves. We're not living of our ways of life. It's this me, everybody else outside. That's not us. That is the culture. That's the way of society of a group of people that split that, that's how they got their means of power. We are on, like we said, we are not only are beneficiaries of our grandfathers, but grandfathers, we are the beneficiaries of a sick society, of a sick group of people.
Mm-hmm. And the comment on what you were saying about sexuality, I think a lot of people have things a bit backwards with me. For example, people think that I am supporting homosexuality, but just for all my viewers on Instagram, I want to make something clear. I wasn't saying that I was in support of homosexuality. Because I'm not. I just want to make that frank. Even if I got homosexual listeners right now, I'm not. Sorry, I'm not. I've never been. I have many reasons for it. Some that you probably heard, some you probably never heard of. I'm not about to get into that. I just want to make something clear. What I do believe is that there are more important things to talk about, and that homosexuality is definitely affecting our community. But sometimes we spend so much time on it that is like some of y'all gay in yourselves, because that's all y'all want to talk about. You understand? Some of y'all, all y'all do is post pictures of Greeks having sex with each other on your page. I'm like, yo, I can't get, that's like gay porno. I don't want to see that going through my timeline. You feel me? And even if you're doing that to teach, go ahead and teach, brother. I'm just saying, sometimes we get so wrapped in it. It's like, yo, it's much more important things to talk about. And so when I brought it up on my page, I was asking people gay agenda or distraction, and I want to tell everybody I always thought it was both. You know what I'm saying? I think the gay agenda, you know what I'm saying, nothing's just one plan. All right, the gay agenda is still trying to hurt the black community, but they're also going to use it as a distraction for us and the rest of the world when stuff goes on. Because, we like a light switch. So I just want to make that very clear. All I was saying is that some of y'all are so intelligent, I feel like y'all got bigger things to talk about. Then, don't get me wrong, you can talk about it, but come on, man. Some of y'all just talk about it all the time. I get it. Look, Tiger, he just got caught with a tranny. I get it. It's in the community. It's real, but I don't want to spend all of our time on it. People going to do.
To me, what the main thing that somebody said to me that didn't that hit home. Remember when I think Noni Renee, that's Lover, Afro Punk, go see her, Noni Renee. She said that the way to heal black people is not by focusing necessarily on what gay people are doing, but it's to reinstill black family and black love. And at first I was like, no, it wasn't necessarily like it hit me like as a shock, like, that didn't make sense. but it just made so much sense at that point that, like, you know what, I can't even argue that. If we focused on our instilling black family values and not, you know, so much, because often the times as kids, when you heard the stuff not to do, that's what you wanted to do the most. But if you heard not necessarily what not to do, but you got a perspective on something deeper, then you know, you were like, you know, you respected them more. If you were taught family is mother, woman, and child, you know, okay, yeah, that, what does that mean? But family, woman, and child, in the sense that it brings you a legacy and it brings you further and close with your ancestors, and it further revenerates your family life and your heritage moving forward, not only through bloodline but ideals and further passages. You know, if people understood family like that, then you wouldn't even have to even talk about gay marriage. You would never say gay is sick and stuff. But if you understood that you were teaching them that family is the most important thing, family is the most important thing in abundance as far as wealth and moving forward, and the like I said, the reveneration of your ancestors moving forward. So, you know, that's important. You know, if you hit those nails home to people, that would.
Sorry, brother, but I'm glad you said that, because I tell people all the time, you know, it's very, look, man, if you decided you gay, I don't think much that I can say is going to change that. But let's not act like we still can't see some of the main reasons for our defeat, which has always been the lack of a family structure of the Holy Trinity, Father, Mother, and Child. So when you wear that ankh, know that that ankh is reminding you the importance. So when I talk to my homosexual brothers and sisters, because y'all know y'all still raised first, y'all some of my brothers and sisters, but when I talk to them, I explain to them, yo, what you got on your neck? They say, yeah, I got an ankh. I said, you can't be a hard advocate for, you know, homosexuality wearing an ankh, because it's therefore telling you how divine the masculine and feminine principle is together. It's telling you that through symbology. You know what I'm saying? It's on your neck. It's a everyday reminder that this is life. This is holy. This is the key to life. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that homosexuality is death necessarily, but I think that it's lifeless. I don't think, which doesn't mean it's dead necessarily. I think it's a lifeless communion. So, you know, I don't want to spend too much time on that. I just wanted to let you know how much I agreed on your point. You know.
You know what else I want to hit home on though? I want to hit home. I just want to say I love black women so much. I'm not even gonna say nothing else. I just love black women. I love black women. It's just, I love black women. I love them so much, and I say that because I feel like it's not enough black men out here, especially nowadays, especially with our generation, and money, clothes, and hoes. And, you know, that is said enough. Because even in our conscious society, in our societies, you know, how we move forward, it's not enough women who get heralded for what they're doing as far as black women, and you know, and they love for the brother and you know, the black society and themselves. And you know, the first form of salvation that I was taught from my parents comes from the woman. And the woman raises the child. Not only does the woman raise the child, but of course the man raises the child as well. But the woman holds the womb, holds the key. You know, holds that child for 9 months of incubation. And you know, not only is the incubation, but the further nurturing, the milk, those things. You know, when white men, you know, were enslaving our ancestors, and they had, you know, our ancestors, you know, our great grandmothers, our grandmothers, you know, weaning their children, giving them breast milk. They understood that breast milk from that black woman was more powerful and genetically, you know, satisfactory for a child, in period, than that of the mothers who was the white mother. They understood that. And that just goes back to, you know, what they say, like that Eve gene that's in black women, that Eve gene, the thing that comes from the universe that was within them. And if they understood that, because, you know, I say that because, not even just because of what men say, it's just the, you know, what's going on in society. Like, you know, I watch Vine, I watch, of course, I hip hop, I'm young, I'm black, I love black women, I love the curves and shapes of black women. But it's like, they're over sexually generalized, you know, to the point where, you know, it's almost bothered with, oh, they doing it too. They just bring themselves up them. They bitches, they bitches, they dumb, they stupid. You know, it's like, what kind of man are you? What type of king are you? You know?
That's word.
Like I said, it goes back to, you know, like my father said, a civilization is only good as its women. And the men go where the women go. So if the women are, you know, are desensitized or are low level, thinking less of themselves, that's how the men gonna think. You know? Because that's how, even in our black community, who's raising these mothers. But you got also now, also to fit your bank out, you got more men also in the families as well, because and that's important. I need to be there for my
again, bro. Breaking up.
Also, yeah, family's important. Love your families. Love your.
Nah, but to comment on that, yeah, you was breaking up. I just didn't want, you know what I'm saying, you say all that and then people not even hear what you're saying. But nah, you're right. And I think, you know what, bro? What are you doing tomorrow? What time are you free tomorrow?
2, 3, no.
2 or 3?
No, 1, 2.
All right,
2 or 3.
We gonna have to the viewers out there.
Deuce.
2? Okay.
Deuce. Not deuce. No, 2 deuce.
Okay.
Deuce.
Nah. So tomorrow at deuce o'clock, we gonna have a conversation. I'm gonna try to get one more king. I want it to be all kings, and we're gonna have a conversation on all the great things about women. Nothing bad. All the great things about black women. We're gonna really sit and talk for like 30 minutes. I'm gonna bring a list. I'm gonna bring probably facts, and we're gonna talk the whole time about great things about our black queens, and we gonna give y'all that. Me and my brother Shamsuddin Free Shabazz, probably another brother. I'm gonna find my brother to share that. I'm gonna put that up on. I might find more than one brother. I'm gonna put it up on my Matter of fact, y'all seen it here first. I'm about to put it up on my Instagram for my and I'm gonna ask people. I'm gonna ask brothers who wants to discuss tomorrow at 2. How beautiful and great black queens are. Because it's a very important conversation to have, and cause we about to have to wrap this up. So hold on, let me make this video. I'm gonna make this video on the live video. You know what I'm saying? So that viewer looking right now, cause I can see the viewers. Yo, you heard it first. You know what I'm saying? Yo, reporting to you live, literally from YouTube. Tomorrow, I want to see if any of the kings would like to participate in a live conversation about how great black queens are. Let me know below. There you have it, y'all. It's about to go up on Instagram right now, and we can all enjoy. Brother, tell them where they can find you.
L_Bay_Shabazz. That's EL_BEY_Shabazz, SHABAZZ. Free Shabazz. I'll be coming out with some music soon. Conscious Wave, Black Activist Movement, Group by Groove, NMF, Righteous Rebels, all that.
Yeah, signing out. Black Activist Movement as well. Groove 5 Groove Social Fellowship Incorporated as well. I'm coming out with an EP called And I Never Stopped Rapping. Y'all want that? It's amazing. It's non-stop bars for 30 minutes. No choruses, no nothing. Changing the beats. It's going to go on, but nothing else like this hardcore bars for y'all. And then the new Bible, which is a whole thing within itself. I want to thank y'all for all the people who stopped by and watched. Tomorrow. Go ahead, Ken.
Oh, also, I'm sorry. You can check me out on my YouTube page, Free Shabazz 7. Sorry. Go ahead, brother.
No doubt. Nah. So, yeah, check me out right here. Also, go follow me at Al Kemets. That's at AL_KEMETS. Follow me. Thank y'all for coming out. This is really just a tryout. I don't even know why I promoted this on my Instagram. Had some people stop by. Really just a tryout. I guess I'll leave it up now because it actually ended up being a great discussion. And we are out of here.